Hello, all. Welcome to the show. It's still called Airbuds, right? I'm Jamel. Who are y'all?
Wait,
says,
what?
Who are you? What is this show called again?
I'm Mike Benner. This show is still called Airbuds. Peter's working right now, so I don't know how much.
I'm Peter, and I'm present. I'm here.
As you're looking at an email right now,
right through it does, and on my screen it looks like you're looking through Benner's skull to look at that email.
Like
I do have an empty head. Yeah.
I'm here. I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about the whitest NBA Finals.
It's White Basketball Month.
Since what? Since they were doing double headers with the Globetrotters, I think maybe. Since the Minneapolis Lakers were barnstorming the league.
Because the Celtics was in a lot of them, but then the other team was never white for real. Like, even when they beat Houston, what was it? There was like half a white guy on that Houston team.
I don't know, man.
Which one?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even tell you. White guys.
It's the cut. It's JJ. It's Doris. It's multiple cutaways to different Wahlberg brothers. It's Kristaps. It's Luka.
I got to tell you,
it just makes me uncomfortable.
When Porzingis made that bucket, I think it was the putback slam, and then they cut to Mark Wahlberg cheering. My heart fell through my asshole.
Yeah, it didn't immediately feel good. I think that's when I decided to go play basketball. I was like, actually, I need to go out. I need to leave the house.
I need to avenge.
What did you say about basketball?
I finally noticed how weird it is between JJ and Doris. They just can't play off of each other at all. Like, one person says something and then it's just silence.
It's so awkward.
And then the other person says something. It's like, are they trying to respect each other's take by just letting it sit there? I don't know.
I've noticed this throughout the whole season, that when JJ and Doris are paired up, which I think has been almost every game that JJ's been on, they just don't seem to like each other. And JJ definitely has interrupted Doris several times that I've noticed.
They try to like each other though, right?
There's been very pointed Doris is referred to JJ as a stat dork several times, and it's a way that it's you're trying to play, but it feels like you're really trying to stab him a little bit.
Just tell him how you really feel type.
Yeah.
It does make you miss Van Gundy and Jackson just telling each other that they're fucking idiots the whole game.
I don't miss Mark Jackson. I do kind of miss Van Gundy because he was just kind of a wild card and good for 3 complete insane things a game that he says.
And then the finals was always a lock because Rihanna would be there. It would be, you know what I'm saying? Every year Rihanna's going to be at one final game and Van Gundy would say something horny.
No, I think we've traded Rihanna in for Mark Wahlberg, and I'm not.
That's a big mistake.
Happy about it. Well, if you're listening, game 1 of the finals was last night. Boston obviously won 107-89 in a bit of a blowout. The Mavs seemed to make a bit of a game of it in the third quarter, but then Boston remembered that they were in the middle of a basketball game and stomped them out.
It is like clockwork. No matter what, Boston's going to kind of meander at the start of every third quarter. But it didn't really matter this time.
Well,
didn't really matter.
Didn't the Clippers beat the Mavs one time like this? The Clippers got out to a huge lead and then blew that lead and then got another 10-point lead.
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
Something like that in the first round.
But with Boston, though, they are the quintessential, post-Warriors NBA team because the difference between them, winning a game by 30 and having it being neck and neck is just such varied on their 3-point shooting. I mean, yes, there's spacing, there's better defense, and a lot of things that Dallas didn't do great, but they cut it to 9 and towards the end of the third there. And if there's, things kind of stabilize in a different way, then you have a competitive fourth. I'm not saying that that Dallas deserved to win by any means, but it feels like they're just a widely variant team, I would say, based on how they play.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I'm thinking about the way Dallas lost, and I'm like, there's a situation that comes up in the playoffs a lot where a team just gets blown out in the first, and then they expend all of their energy trying to come back, and it barely works out. Or the other version is the coach gets pissed at the starters for playing like shit, and so he puts the bench in, and then the bench plays harder, and then they cut into the lead and narrowly lose, and then they bring the starters back, and then the starters start sucking shit again. What I wanted to see the Mavs do when they cut it to 8 was put the whole bench in, clear the bench just for like 5 minutes. Because I'm pretty sure Jason Kidd was thinking about clearing the bench anyway. If it got to like 30 points, he wasn't going to keep the starters in for the whole fourth quarter. Just put them in and see what happens.
You're saying when they cut it to 9, you wanted to put the entire bench in?
I would have liked whenever the next TV timeout or whatever stop and play, I need to see like 4 or 5 different guys. Maybe like Lively could stay, but like just get everybody off just for a second.
Well, Jamel, I have a stat for you that I saw last night. There was a 5-minute stretch after they cut it to 9 where Luka sat for 5 minutes. And in those 5 minutes, the Mavericks were a negative 15.
Jesus.
And that's how the Celtics took the game and ran with it.
That was the game.
And that was the game. Damn. He sat and then he left Kyrie in.
I think Kyrie was in for a little bit during that. Let me tell you what the game was. Luka had 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 1 assist. 1. A guy who is the best passer in the league, maybe, and I don't know, average probably like 9 assists in the regular season, had 1 assist. And that tells me that it's not Luka, it's everyone else that fucked up and lost this game.
Yeah, and I didn't think it was going to go down like that. When you see Derek Jones making his first 3, you're like, all right, guys, we're here. PJ Washington getting putback dunks. It's like, all right. And I think Jaylen Brown guarding them I got to give Jaylen Brown some credit. The length and they had to make Luka one-dimensional. I thought that the smartest thing was to just like keep him from shooting threes. But whatever Joe Mazzulla and them figured out, they cut off the passing lanes. Was he throwing it? Did he have a lot of turnovers?
Luka had 4 turnovers, which obviously the assist to turnover ratio is pretty bad there, but 4 I guess isn't so bad for Luka.
Porzingis, Latvia's hype right now. Porzingis was ready, and also Luka was guarding Porzingis at points.
Yeah, they were trying to switch everybody on the Luka. I think they were clearly trying to tire him out.
It worked.
Chris,
I keep thinking Peter wants to talk, but he's looking at more emails.
No, I do want to talk. I'm looking at stats. I'm just uncomfortable watching a home crowd in Boston. It just feels so
familiar.
Not in a good way.
Like your childhood.
No, you don't know where I grew up. What are you talking about?
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I just figured
you saying that?
Because of the white people.
Honestly, you probably grew up around a lot of more white people than I did. My high school was like 60% black.
60? You know that?
Yeah.
You counted
every day.
1, 2, 3. No, not that one. 4, 5.
I I
Used to
just,
go
I
to-
don't know.
I was
I
very
think white people look the
uncomfortable.
same.
There's a shot. There's a shot in when Kyrie was at the line at one point. I think this might have been the first quarter. The camera cut away to a large white guy with a completely shaved head, wearing a gold chain, and he just was pointing at Kyrie and screaming like Donald Sutherland in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and that made me really uncomfortable.
It just makes me uncomfortable. It just doesn't feel like anything is not totally loaded with intense racial undertones or overtones.
You're also you coming at me like you didn't get married in Cape Cod. Me and Benner was there. You've
Yeah, I
been to
know.
Lobster Town. You know about Lobster Mania.
Yeah, but I'm also like, you're saying it like I'm like, oh, I sure enjoyed watching all those whites yell at Kyrie.
Yeah. I know. I mean, they should have to play somewhere else. What if we called them the Boston Celtics and they just had to play somewhere else? Would that work
Like
for everybody?
Boston, Alabama.
I'd like that.
Is there another
Yeah.
Boston in America?
Gotta be.
Okay, let's see. Cities named Boston. There are 28 cities named Boston around the world,
There we go.
including 16 in the
Okay.
United States.
Fire.
There's maybe we can send them to Boston and Lincolnshire, England.
Or
I'm
we
sure
could just send them
Boston
to
people
like
would love that.
other New England town. Well, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't need to be like, I don't know how you fix it. It's just uncomfortable. It's just uncomfortable. I don't know. It just like reminds everybody, I think, too, where it's just like, oh, this country hates Boston. We all hate Boston.
And I think that came through in ESPN's predictions, where like I think 9 out of 10 of the people they polled picked the Mavs, and
I think 80% of the money on ESPN Bet I heard on a podcast was on the Mavs. Everyone
And
just like is willing them.
And it has nothing to do with the basketball players. It has everything to do with wanting the city of Boston to not exist.
I don't know. I mean, I picked the Boston Celtics to win the finals, but I want the Mavs to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
But for me, it's more like you see that Jason Tatum wore the same T-shirt that Kobe wore when he worked out for the Celtics back when he got drafted.
Oh my God,
he wore that T-shirt in pregame warmups.
That was like a totally different point in the year. Like, what is the reference? What he did pre-draft workouts?
There's one photo of 17-year-old Kobe wearing a very specific Celtic shirt, and yeah, Jason Tatum was like, "Got to wear that."
And then Kyrie has like, he actually has like that earring that he wears. Damn, I was going to make a joke that I don't want to make anymore.
I was going to make a joke that I don't want to make also.
Yeah. I just realized where I was going was really bad.
Go on.
It's metal from the helicopter.
Oh, dude, that's rough.
Oh,
See?
Oh, man.
I was going to say Kyrie's going to come out in warmups wearing a replica of the robe that Kobe wore that one time he stayed at a hotel in Denver.
Okay, that's worse.
I don't know. You guys are really...
I love how Jamel and I both were like, we can't make these jokes, and then we did it.
Did it anyway, just to check.
If you phrase it as I was gonna say, then you don't.
Yeah, and I
that's
never
all that
actually.
counts.
I didn't say that. I mean, it may. They're working out. The Mavs are working out to meet the Grams, and we thought they were going to win. That's not a good song to be teammates to. Meet
And
the Grams.
They're working out on chain nets indoors, which was crazy too.
Maniac behavior.
Yeah, I was like, are you trying to like tear someone's finger off in in like low impact practice? Why would you put chain nets on?
Well, I think Boston is, well, except I guess the Indiana series, but they're 1-2 in game twos this playoff. So
Yeah, that's still on the
not
table.
going to have a gentleman's sweep. It seems like this is a now must win, right? For the Lucas.
Yeah.
Peter, we were trying to figure this out last podcast. What is the exact definition of a gentleman's sweep, and who created the term?
5 games. Gentleman sweep is a 5-gamer.
But isn't it specifically like you win 3 games, lose the 4th, and then win the 5th? Or
Yeah.
no?
Now that
I think so.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about
I
that
think
because
so.
that seems rare.
Or the 3rd. Like you win 1 home game, they get the other home game. When I think of a gentleman sweep, I think of, oh, you won your first home game, it's 2-1 now, and then the away team takes care of business, it's 3-1, and this thing's a wrap, and they go back for game 5.
Got it. So it's almost like you're charitably letting the other team win one on their home court. That's why you're a gentleman. Got it.
A tip of the cap to you, sir.
Do you guys, I mean, I don't know. I think this is still very much a series. Again,
Sure.
Celtics are not good
Is
at
Luka
game
gonna average 1 assist for the whole series?
He can't.
I hope not.
No.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fucked up.
Kyrie missed a bunch of open threes. I think this is like...
Yeah, wide open too.
0 for 5 and from 3.
Yeah, I think this is... We got plenty of time here.
Point out, Kyrie, I believe, is 0 and 11 against the Celtics since he left.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah.
And he asked for him to be louder in the postgame. He was like, I thought they were going to be a little louder. Okay.
I love it.
Predictions for game 2, which is on Sunday.
Boy, I love a final schedule.
Everybody, take your time.
It is crazy that they they cram the playoffs in, even though it's like 3 months of fucking playoffs. It feels like teams are having one night off maybe for the first 3 rounds, and then suddenly the finals take 3 weeks themselves.
As a Wizards fan, I just want the year to be over. I'm waiting on 2028. I just need this shit to be
It's
over.
been over for months.
Exactly. I just need
Your
the calendar.
2025 is already over.
I need everybody. I need Adam Silver to just close that leather book that he has on this year. Just shut it up. Put a buckle on it.
You saying at the end of every year, Adam Silver closes a book like he's the grandpa in Princess Bride?
Yes. Absolutely.
He's finished writing the documentation of everything that happened that season. He
with a quill
closes the book and then puts on a sleeping cap and goes to sleep for 2 weeks.
He puts the final touches on a 10-game road game run in Brazil for next year, and then
In other news, guys, did you see that at the very last second after it was reported that the NBA is closing a deal with NBC and Amazon and yada 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 to give them all the broadcasting rights, TNT is suddenly back at the bargaining table trying to basically plead for some games.
I did not see this. It's done, right? I thought this
news broke
done.
yesterday. It was reported as being done, but then news broke late yesterday that Warner Brothers Discovery is
begging
for some regular season games and some playoff games. It might be partially about taking some locally broadcasted games that weren't going to be national and making them national for TNT specifically, but it would be a small amount. Let me posit this theory.
Okay.
Genius head of Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav, who has not fumbled the ball a million times and completely fucked up his own company and entertainment as a whole. Is it possible that he kind of tried to big dog his way through these negotiations, asked her way too much, be stubborn, and the NBA was like, well, fuck you, we're going to NBC. And now he's back begging for mercy and asking for anything that the NBA can throw his way.
Yeah, it sounds like he just realized that they put so much, their whole business is based off having the basketball games. Bleacher Report is gone. Once this is gone, Bleacher Report is gone. It's just all gone. They're only going to have NASCAR.
Well, they got some college football. That was exciting for them.
Oh, good.
And they got soccer overseas, right? They
Yeah,
have
they got some.
they got
I
like
mean,
some Champions League and
I listened to a podcast that I thought was interesting that basically said this puts Comcast in a really advantageous position. They have NFL games. They have, I think, the SEC or Big Ten. They've got like a bunch
Big
of like
Ten.
college. Well, Big Ten's now going to CBS,
Well, last
which is
year
Paramount.
it was on
On
Peacock
Peacock
last
last
year.
year, but it is going to CBS, which is also potentially also sold. I don't know, man. Like basically, what I heard posited too was like this is going to make Warner Brothers so purchasable by someone like a Comcast, basically to come in and like. I just think like basically
Comcast, which owns NBC.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Zaslav's basically run this thing into the ground. Period. He seems like an idiot, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think we can all probably agree.
What was that story where he had a bunch of like famous people onto his yacht to screen some movie and there was a sex scene, so he made everyone close their eyes or something?
No.
Yeah, hold on, let me look it up.
I'm looking this up.
God, this is
I mean,
riveting podcasting. Me and Peter both looking for the same article.
I don't know, dude. That guy sucks. Sucks.
Okay, here, let me read this paragraph. In July 2019, the Zaslavs were on Geffen's yacht, sailing around the Mediterranean with a crew that included Oprah Winfrey, Gayle King, and some other famous people. One night, they decided to screen the award-winning BBC comedy Fleabag, which was made by a production company that Discovery now owns, but which Zaslav hadn't got around to watching. A minute into the first episode, the group found itself in the midst of a hot and heavy sex scene. Pause. So I put my hand up, recalls Zaslav. I go, whoa. So they stopped it, and I said, okay, here's the strategy. We either shut it off or we put it back on, and everybody only looks forward. We don't look at each other until it's over. Everyone opted for the latter.
Whoa.
Which is also just how you watch TV. Did this guy not know how to watch TV before? Like, is he constantly just looking in each other's eyes?
Peter, did you hear what you just said?
Scenes?
Did you hear what you just said? The head of a goddamn TV company don't even know how to look at the TV. He doesn't even know how to point his head at the TV.
Man,
It's
so
also
sad.
It's crazy
So
that
sad.
a rich person is like not into weird sex. Aren't they all into weird sex?
Well, just
Well,
like
so
if
I
the,
think
if
or
the
sex
reporter's
lists.
there.
Okay, everybody, here's what we're going to do. We can shut it off or we don't talk to each other until this is all over.
So do you often guys hear the phrase survive till 25? Is that a common thing you
I've
hear
been hearing
said?
it more and more.
What do you guys think is going to happen in 25?
More of the same shit?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Be sucking dicks till 26?
I know I
Jamel's
was.
about to be a breakout star of a hit movie.
Well, I mean, Jamel's, listen, we're going
I'm sucking dicks at 36.
Jamel's about to be the Kimmy Gibbler of a movie. Your
The
star is going to be on the rise, yeah.
The funny shit is
The
I don't
fucking
even,
Urkel of memes and nightmares.
it's my wildest dreams, Benner. To be Stephen Q. Urkel.
Maybe this can get you a general with the Zaz, you know?
Hey, that'd be interesting. I
Wait,
just want to
isn't-
put a screen in front of him and see where he looks.
Wait, is the movie was Bleacher Report a part of the movie?
Not really. So
Okay.
we got NBA footage because Pepsi's involved.
Mm.
It's just
Interesting.
it's a starry joint.
Mm.
So you feel me?
Yeah.
Which one of those lemons and limes is Spike Lee?
Is Kiki Palmer like sucking some starry her human up like a monster? Yeah.
Yeah.
That commercial was so weird.
They're all weird.
Speaking of weird commercials, guys, the new State Farm commercials where that are airing all over the playoffs, where people are now not only summoning State Farm Jake, but they're also summoning like Chris Paul and Ludacris into their homes.
Yo, I'll just
Yeah.
call. I'm gonna say yes. Like the Lopez brothers being summoned. That's weird. Nothing is weirder than seeing Chris Paul in a Golden State Warriors jersey in a State Farm commercial. It feels incredibly uncomfortable.
It's also very funny that they were like, you know what, Chris, let's feature your like one of your major characteristics, whining to referees. Like that's the point of his commercial.
Yeah, and it's like, whatever game he teleported from, they was losing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was playing, so they must have. Yeah. I should have bookmarked the clip, but there was a clip going around yesterday of I believe it was Matt Barnes and Rasheed Wallace basically discovering in real time what gatekeeping means. Did you guys see this?
No.
They're talking about the discourse around the WNBA and whether it should be led by women and former players as it relates to like the Stephen A. Smith shit. And they basically were like, well, yeah, like we've been saying for years that, the best people to talk about the NBA are the people that actually played in the NBA. So like maybe we should let former WNBA players who actually played in the WNBA talk about it. Like they just were like, maybe we shouldn't be the first people to talk about this. Maybe women should talk about stuff.
Dog, it's so crazy that like that's what people are saying now. Dog, the first 10 years of the WNBA is so disrespectful. Like they're just letting dudes they're like, oh, like a guy would retire from the NBA and he'd be like, well, I want to get into coaching. Well, why don't you try it out with the girls for a while and see how that goes? And it would be terrible. It would always be terrible. Isaiah Thomas doesn't even talk about when he coached the New York Liberty. That's how bad that shit went.
The timeline on that is hilarious.
Is Derek Fisher working anywhere right now?
Where's Bill Laimbeer?
The crib.
Fudgy?
Eating fucking Vienna sausages.
Old Fudgy.
Fudge ass.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Anything else you want to talk about? I guess the draft is about a month away. Free agency is about a month away. Draft is in like 2 weeks, right? 3 weeks?
I cannot wait for the worst draft of all time.
Are you guys going to trade anyone before the draft? You ever going to get rid of like the players that have any value?
I mean, maybe. Kuzma. They're talking Kuzma to the Kings.
For who?
I don't know. We
Just
probably
draft
walk
picks?
away with picks and maybe Harrison Barnes, but probably not.
Would you be happy if Kuzma got traded?
If we got some sort of future thing back, because we're, like I said, like as embarrassing as it is and decrepit as it is, we are waiting for 2028, 27. We got all these picks. Like we got like multiple firsts. Once you get past 2026, we start having like 2 firsts, 3 firsts.
Did we ever talk about the fact that Leonsis reversed course and you guys are staying in DC proper and not moving to Alexandria?
I mean, because the team just kept playing worse and worse. It wasn't like any reason to bring it, but yes, they are staying. Which is good because if they didn't stay, downtown DC was going to turn into a hellhole. Downtown DC was going to turn into a heroin depot.
That's that little shack outside the Home Depot where you can buy heroin and hot dogs.
Hot dogs, yeah.
My favorite thing about the hot dog depot is that they all have that statue of the hot dog smiling and pouring mustard and ketchup on himself.
Which is so fucked up.
I know. He's like, I can't wait for you to eat me.
Like, ugh.
Has there been vor made of that guy? Do you guys know what vor is?
No.
No.
What the fuck?
It's a very You know what? Google it on your own time.
I'm
I'm
not.
okay. Why don't you just tell me right now?
I'm not.
It's
You brought it up.
It's a very specific kink where men imagine themselves to be tiny and being eaten by giant women.
So a dude saw a dude where's my car and jacked off to it one time and then made it his whole life.
And then thanks to Reddit, we're here.
Thank you, Reddit.
Appreciate you, Reddit. Good looking out, Reddit.
Guys, let's given one game of data, who do you think is going to be the Finals MVP?
Jaylen Brown, right?
So far, it might have to be
right?
Jaylen Brown. I mean, aside from just scoring the most points on his team, defensively he was incredible.
He's guarding Luka.
Yeah,
It's like he can. Yes, you have to give it to him.
yeah, yeah. I feel bad. I feel like we should have put a bet on him as Finals MVP because I think he had
Same.
like pretty good odds, if I remember.
Great odds. I think he had like over 600, like plus 600 odds to do it.
Wow, because it went what, like Tatum, Luka, Kyrie, then him.
Yeah, I think so.
Insanity. Should have been fucking him, Tatum, then all the Mavs.
Do you think
listen.
Kristaps Porzingis is going to continue
Well,
with his
yeah.
excellent play?
So this is something that's been happening. First thing that's been going on in my phone is men discovering that women play basketball for a living. That's been happening a lot this year. And then once that calmed down, then it's the rest of the dudes being like, wait, Kristaps Porzingis played for the Wizards? Nah, he didn't look like this when he played for the Wizards. Bitch, yes, he did. He looked exactly like this with no point guard to speak of.
How many minutes did
Were
Porzingis
him
play
and
in the
Jordan
second
Poole
half?
on the same team?
Not a ton.
No.
And I don't think they were. I think they shipped them out before, like that whole summer it all went down. They did not play together.
Yeah.
He's a first half dude. He looks perfect in the first quarter and a half of a game and then slowly regresses.
He scored 18 in the first half and then 2 in the second half. So
that is a classic. That is a Porzingis Wizards game through and through.
I did love watching the first half on NBA Twitter and people going nuts for Porzingis, like being like, people forget that he's him. And it's like,
what? No, everybody has hated this guy's guts from the jump.
Yeah, he had kudos to your great first half, but like it was crazy watching everyone. Someone was like, someone posted something. I think it was StatMuse or Buckets. It was Buckets. It was like, if you see this face, you know you're in trouble. And it was like Michael Jordan scowling, LeBron James scowling, and then Porzingis scowling.
Nasty.
It's like, what is happening?
That's disgusting. They didn't need to post that.
Yeah.
Him with Dallas I feel like was that his worst stretch as a player?
I think so.
Worst fit for sure, right?
Yeah, specifically did not work. They also, it was like they were trying to make their team whiter than ever, and they were wearing like some of the worst jerseys of all time. That City Edition from the Dallas Porzingis era, it's disgusting.
Is that like the highlighter green?
Okay, wait. Now that's the second one. I'm talking about the one. I don't think he played in the highlighter green one because I like the highlighter green one. I'm talking about the white, gold, and silver one.
Oh, that was disgusting. I remember that.
They tried to make it look like this the fucking 40s or something. Terrible.
I'm looking at the Mavericks roster. Something I didn't realize. I forgot about this. Remember, like, yeah, when Porzingis was on the team, it was like majority white, and now there are 2 white guys on the team.
Listen,
like,
I'm telling
they
you,
flipped.
Mark Cuban and them, they tried to make it a white team, and then once the 2 top white guys they had hated each other, they were like, let's bring the Negroes back.
Well, I got them to the finals, so
we should get some more coloreds in here. They said that in a board meeting, 2019.
I believe it.
2020. My bad.
Well, game 2 is on Sunday. I'm going to be in New York on Tuesday. Do you guys want to record in person?
Yeah.
Should work. I think Wednesday. Are you going to be there Wednesday?
I'll be there Wednesday.
Yeah, that's when your thing is.
Should we do?
I thought it was Tuesday.
No, your thing is on Wednesday.
Your movie's on Wednesday, I think.
Oh shit. Then I get in that morning. Thursday?
Let's do Thursday after we see
Thursday.
we see the movie.
Because I don't have shit that Thursday.
Hell yeah. Well, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about, should we wrap it up?
Congratulations to Aaliyah Edwards. Welcome to the DC Sports Experience. You can play your heart out all fucking night, and nobody in the arena will care, or even look up from their phone. You played a great game, and I'm sorry you have to live like this. Horace and Dickie's is a great fish place. I hope you make it there.
And if you're in New York or the New York area, go see Memes and Nightmares next week at the Tribeca Festival. There's tickets available for a couple other screenings. Yeah.
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 Listen to Peter's podcasts.
Hey,
Sure.
I'm all over MLS Weekly. I love that show.
Check out Jamel's WNBA minutes on his socials.
Peter, just like the video. Can you just like the last one?
I've been busy.
Just toss me one like.